welcome to Ill-Equipped History, where two best friends tell you a story from history. I'm Morgan, and this is my best friend and co-host, Emily.
Hey!
And I am very excited to see you here tonight. It's just, yeah. No reason. I love seeing your face.
I'm just sitting here smiling very big. I know y'all can't hear that, but I'm just like, I just like being here with you.
Me too.
Very goofy today. Just
I don't know how I am today. So myself and some friends this morning made some plans. It's one of my friends' birthdays today. And so because things are crazy at the end of the school year, we're like, let's get like breakfast before we go start our day. We'll meet at like 7:30. I had a meeting at 9, and they didn't really have anything like set in stone like until later anyway, so like it worked out. So me and the birthday girl, we get to the breakfast place and we sit down. And just for you all, the day of recording, today is the last day of school in the district I work in. And I'm actually wearing a shirt saying that we work for the district. So I guess that's, the waitress was like, oh, they're school employees. And she goes, aren't you glad that school's out? And I just looked at her and I said, we still have to work today. And she was like, yeah, but school is like going to be out for the summer. And I was like, but we still have to work.
And you just weren't getting it.
I wasn't. And we were just going back and forth, and my friend was like, it's my birthday today, so we're just getting breakfast before our day starts. And the waitress is like, oh, okay. And I was just like, what happened here? Like, what? I still can't really tell you what happened. There was like this barrier of miscommunication going on that I could not understand. It was just like, but like, I still have things to do. Like, today's not my last day. Yeah. Like, she knows me and my life
personally. Like, she knows that.
I was so embarrassed, and I really don't get embarrassed that easily. Like, a lot of things like roll off and I can laugh at it, but I was like, I'm actually embarrassed by that whole conversation.
It's too early.
It's too early. I only had 1 cup of coffee before I left, and so I was like, can I please get more coffee so I could like pretend to function like an adult?
If it makes you feel any better, I was booking, this was in the afternoon, so I think my brain had just been fried at that point. I was booking a home inspection, and she was like, I said, I don't like to rattle off people's full phone numbers when I'm confirming. I'm like, is this, and then I read off the last 4 digits of the phone number. I'm going to make one up. Like, is this 5162 the best number for you? Most people get that, where they're like, yeah, that's my phone number. If I know the last 4, I can see the rest of it on the caller ID. Like, I can see it. Right. And she didn't tell me. It was the weirdest. She went, and she said the area code is 313 or whatever it was. And we had a little incident earlier that we didn't know what the zip code of the house was. And I was like, 313? No, the zip code of the house on Zillow says this. And I was like, oh, you meant the area code. Yeah, I got the area code 313. I got the zip code this. And I was like, I'm sorry. It's been a day. So, we're dumb together.
That's all right. Well, Corey clearly had the brain cell today. She's been selfish with it lately.
She's been selfish with it for 20 years. We're just going through life. I told Morgan that if y'all, I made the post for the Bonnie and Clyde episode today because it came out today. We made it right before we recorded, and I was like, man, the vocabulary is so much better because you're helping me write this. Normally it's just like, they did crazy things. Listen, please.
I have to be very honest. Like, just this moment as we're talking, I completely forgot that we're recording for a podcast. I was like, we're just chatting, having a good time, laughing at funny things. And then you're like, you said my name. I was like, oh, yeah. We have listeners that are listening to all of this right now.
Y'all, if you're ever worried that we are not our authentic selves on this podcast, please know we are this weird in real life.
Every day.
Every day.
And actually, I think we tone it down a little bit for the pod because we want to earn your respect. Anyway,
yeah.
Should we get into our skit for today?
We probably should before we forget again.
Hello, Princess Njinga. Welcome in.
Thank you, Governor of Susa. It is an honor to meet you and speak on behalf of my people. I look forward to our negotiations.
As do I. Please, have a seat and make yourself comfortable. Njinga looks around the room.
It's just cushions and rugs.
Yes, that's custom for your people, isn't it?
But you're seated on something tall.
Well, I am Portuguese. I'm using a chair.
Well, this won't do.
Njinga looks to one of her servants and points to the ground. The servant gets on their hands and knees, and Njinga settles on their back, making eye contact with the Portuguese governor.
Well, now that we're seeing eye to eye, let's begin our negotiations. This lady sounds like, I don't know, a badass. I don't know who this lady is.
She is a badass. We are talking about Queen Njinga. She was an African queen of two different nations in the 1500s. And
wow.
Like no kings. She was just queen. So we're going to be talking about her today and her badassness. She is still seen as a symbol of the fight for freedom and like the fight from oppression.
Yeah.
To this day because of
awesome.
her badassness. Because we are talking about stuff from ye old times, I think it's important for us to make a couple quick, housekeeping things. One, as we've spoken before about other things from ye olden times, especially with monarchy and things get violent.
Yeah.
So just know that that's going on. We're also going to be talking about this time where Africa is being colonized, specifically to help fund the slave trade. So that is going to be brought up in our conversation for today. And what we know about Queen Njinga and everything that happened was written about by the colonizers that were in the area who kept the histories. So I think most of the resources that I researched had a more neutral lens, but just know that there could be things that like have been skewed from what actually happened and we just don't know.
Right.
Especially because the colonizers were white Europeans and this is in Africa. So
I love that.
And there's like religious differences, like these were Christian men coming in to colonize, who they were colonizing were not Christian. So anyway, let's talk about Queen Njinga. She was born Njinga Mbande, and I'm doing my best with these pronunciations. I did look them up. Don't come at me, please. She was born in 1582 in Ndongo, which is now Angola. When she was born, her grandfather was the ruler, and the rulers were also called Ngolas. So the nation became known as Angola, and the name of the rulers,
the rulers were Angola. Okay.
It's reported that when she was born, the umbilical cord was wrapped around her neck, which led to her name because Njinga means to twist or rotate.
Oh.
So that could be how she got her name. It's suspected. In 1592, when she was 10 years old, her father, Mbande Angola, became king. Her mother, Kingala Kakombe, was the king's favorite concubine.
Oh, okay.
And I think she was the oldest daughter as well. Mm-hmm. So she did have a place of privilege in her father's family. She had a good education. She learned all kinds of like political tips and tricks. She knew how to navigate these like high stakes political environments. She understood military training, knew statecraft. She actually was allowed to train in the army by her father because she showed great physical prowess.
Oh, cool.
And she just learned the ropes. Like her father allowed her to sit in court. Like in his court.
Wow.
So she knew how to navigate stuff. So Mbande had fought against, so at this time, the Portuguese in this specific area were coming in. It was like the Portuguese, the Dutch, I think the British, probably, I mean, like all the Western European nations were coming in. Just like, let's take all the resources for ourselves. So the Portuguese had been trying to come in to colonize the area. Mbande was very resistant to it. And in 1617, he'd actually been killed in a coup led by his own people, and his son, Ngala Mbande, it's all the same names, so I'm going to call him, or Ngola Mbande, he killed his father to take the throne.
Wow.
And then he killed everyone who could compete for the line to the throne, including Njinga's son.
Oh.
And then, so Njinga and her sisters were allowed to live, but they were forced to be sterilized. So they couldn't have any more heirs, like potential heirs.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Very violent. Like I said, the Portuguese are coming in. They are colonizing the areas around. There's a kingdom called Congo that was close by that the Portuguese had already colonized. And they were trying to set up agreements with because they were trying not to take areas by force. They were trying to set up agreements hey, we'll take over to an extent and but we'll offer you protection and stuff if you give us resources. It was kind of like that sort of relationship that they were trying to do. And that same year that Njinga's brother took control, they colonized the nearby kingdom of Luanda as well. And Njinga knew exactly what was going on. She knew the Portuguese were going and colonizing all these different areas. And they're given two options. You could be subjugated peacefully or forcefully. Was kind of what they're up against. So apparently the kingdom had been had some agreements with the Dutch for a long time. I'm not sure what those agreements were, but the Portuguese were putting a lot of pressure on Njinga's brother. They wanted to dominate the slave trade, especially. They wanted to monopolize the slave trade. And quote, the kingdom's strategic location made it a prime target for colonial exploitation. That's a quote from blackhistorymonth.org.uk. And they were also trying to convert as many people as they could to Christianity as well. So when the Portuguese closed in on Ndongo, which is where they were all living, Mbandi moved his kingdom to the Kidonga Islands. So kind of escaped a little bit. And in 1622, Njinga was actually sent to negotiate with the Portuguese to figure out, okay, what can we arrange? She was only 22 years old.
What?
And she's good at what she does.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to do my best. She met João Correia de Souza. I do not speak Portuguese at all. He was the governor of Luanda. That had just been colonized. And so I guess some of her people had been captured, and she went to go negotiate the release of her people that had been captured and make sure that Ndongo was recognized as a sovereign nation. Like, if you're gonna like subjugate us, like, we want to still make our own choices. We don't want to be Portuguese. We still want to be us, but we can figure something out.
Right.
And according to record, when she entered I think it was a tent that like was their meeting place, there was a bunch of like rugs and cushions on the ground, and D'Souza was sitting in a chair, and she had one of her servants kneel on the ground, and she sat on their back so she could look D'Souza in the eyes. Doing this, she was, quote, asserting her right to sit on the same level as the Portuguese.
Damn.
And there's a painting. I only have 2 pictures for you today, Emily, but one of them is her using one of her servants to as a chair as she talks to
I do feel
D'Souza.
bad for the servant. Poor guy.
I know. I know. So the peace negotiations actually went well. Part of the negotiations is that she would be baptized Catholic and convert to Christianity, and she was given the name Ana D'Souza. So if you look up Queen Njinga, you'll also see results for Ana D'Souza. And she actually used that name sometimes too in some of her letters. She used a bunch of different names. And then when she was baptized, the governor and his wife became her godparents, because that's the thing in Catholicism. So things were good for a little while. But then things quickly deteriorated because the Portuguese were like, hey, like, I know we said you'd be sovereign, but we kind of just really want to take your land. And Ndongo was like, no. In 1624, Angola Mbande died, her brother. It's theorized he either committed suicide or Njinga killed him. Not sure.
Well, he did kill her son, so she seems like the kind of person that would play the long game.
Yeah, and I'm sure he killed a lot of other family members too. I saw in one source that he died by poison, so I'm not sure. So Njinga was named as regent for her nephew, who would become king. But she killed him. Her nephew. Allegedly.
What?
In most sources, in like half the sources I read, said that she killed her nephew. He was 8.
Oh.
Yeah. And she became queen.
Whoa. God,
Yeah.
I hate all of this, but also like, wow.
It's brutal violence. Yeah. Which like we've talked about before, like paradigm and like rule shifts are always violent, no matter what culture you're in. Like I said earlier, the Ndongo tribe or the kingdom had been heavily influenced by the Dutch up to this point. Like I think they had trade relationships with them. Like the Dutch hadn't colonized them. They had some kind of relationship. And Njinga was like, no, like we're going to get rid of all these pro-Dutch policies. I want to appeal to the Portuguese so they stop trying to conquer us. Mm-hmm. And her people were pissed about that.
Yeah.
And the Portuguese were like, actually, we don't want you on the throne either. It's so confusing. I don't know what was going on. But the Portuguese were like trying to get someone who was more sympathetic to the Portuguese like claim to power, I guess, named Ngola Ahari. And in 1626, after 2 years of being on the throne, she was ousted.
Wow.
So Njinga fled. So she fled to the kingdom of Matamba. Mm-hmm. And there was this group of people called the Mbangalas. And she joined this group of people. I saw in one source they were like a lot more like violent, may have like participated in cannibalism. I only saw that in one source though. And she reportedly she did not engage in that, but she did the other rituals necessary to be like become part of their tribe and become their leader. And this is a quote from Britannica.com, quote, "For the next 30 years, she personally led troops into battle and waged guerrilla war against the Portuguese, sometimes retreating and sometimes adding to her territory."
What?
So Njinga flees her kingdom, joins this other kingdom, and like basically like takes over it, becomes their queen, and then starts personally going into the battlefield and fighting against the Portuguese for 30 years.
What?
She's already like in her like late 20s and 30s at this point.
So she was like, by the time this ends, she's in her like 50s, 60s.
Uh-huh.
Damn.
So her guerrilla tactics included hit and run style attacks on Portuguese supply lines and settlements. Quote, her leadership inspired other African leaders to resist European colonization, making her a symbol of Pan-African resistance.
Wow.
This is something I kind of noticed, and I just want to be transparent about it. A theme I noticed in some of the sources I read that I think they minimize some of like the more severe aspects of Njinga.
Yeah.
Because she is seen as like a really important figure in history for like Black freedom, African freedom, freedom from colonization. But there was a website I found called enslaved.org that had a lot of really good research. And there was a researcher that has like published books about Njinga and other people from this area. And in some sources, I read that she provided a refuge for people to come to when they were fleeing enslavement. But also, and this could both be true, where in the battles that she fought, she would take prisoners and then sell them as slaves.
Oh.
Because I think that's just what happened. And the source by this author, her name's Nicolette Kostiw, and she's a published author in several journals about like African history. She, in one of her writings, she said that Njinga sold almost 200,000 people to the Portuguese as enslaved people.
Wow. Complicated.
People are complicated. And the slave trade at this time was just so lucrative.
Yeah.
So her armies attacked the Portuguese while she formed alliances in relationships with Dutch traders. And this is also what I don't understand. There's so many things that are conflicting in the story. Like she was selling people to the Portuguese. She was trying to form relationships with the Portuguese, but also she was trying to form relationships with our enemies. And I don't know. And it's 30 years. So it could have been like, at one point she was saying this and then she changed her mind. Yeah. I don't know. It was really hard to find detailed information about this 30-year period. It was mostly like before and after this whole 30-year span of time. But around this time, she claimed the throne of the Matamba kingdom after years of disarray. So she had come in, she had been like, I'm taking charge here. And then after a series of years where like they had gone through a bunch of their own royal disputes, she's like, I'm queen now. And they're like, okay. And Matamba differed from Ndongo because a female ruler, like there's a precedent for being sole female rulers, where in Ndongo that was not very common. I think that's also why like no one wanted her on the throne. Because they're like, a queen? No.
What?
That can't happen.
A woman can't do that.
And she did in Matamba. She was a lot better received there. While there, to help further improve her station, she married several high-class men. Between the 1630s and 40s, she had several husbands. And this is a quote from Kostiw. Quote, it was also during this period that she decided to become a man by personally leading her troops into battle and calling her husbands concubines. She even required her husbands to dress in women's clothing and be housed with her handmaids.
What?
Yeah. And she even insisted to be called king instead of queen. Because
why?
She took the term Angola, which that's the word for king. And she said, no, I'm Angola.
Oh.
Instead of, I don't know what the word for queen was.
Okay.
And I also saw that not only did she have male husbands and concubines, she also had female concubines. Oh. I don't know if she had wives, but you know what?
She's an equal opportunist.
Who wants to be my concubine? Anyone's welcome.
Anybody.
So in 1641, the Dutch conquered Luanda, and Njinga went to them for help. Like, they formed an allyship. Like, hey, how about me and you? Like, you just conquered the Portuguese. Like, why don't we join up? And then, like, we'll fight the Portuguese together. That sounds great. And so they actually won a battle together in 1647. But in 1648, the Dutch lost a battle. And then they immediately were like, Portugal, can we be friends now? like immediately they had one loss and they're like, never mind. I don't want to be enemies anymore. So in 1652, the nation of Luanda signed an alliance/treaty with Portugal. Mm-hmm. And then the Portuguese, this entire time, the Portuguese were trying to capture her and kill her or pressure her to become a vassal for them. And a vassal is someone who's loyal to a nation for protection. And Njinga was like, no, you can't have me.
You're good.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So she's eluding them this whole time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this whole time she's escaping them. She was still in her 60s, leading battles on the battlefield.
What a badass.
Front lines. I know. I wish I knew more about what those 30 years were, but I guess the survivors didn't think to write it down, and then the losers didn't survive to write it down, I guess.
Well, and they do say that history is always told by the victors, and that's not always necessarily the truth. 100%. Things can get skewed, is what I'm saying.
Right. And Njinga, she wrote about herself because she wrote letters to people.
Yeah.
But I guess she just didn't journal, and she didn't keep a journal or anything, I guess. And that's how we know about a lot of history, is because people are just I think this might be important. I'm going to write it down and then put it away.
They're I ate a tuna sandwich today. And then within that same thing, they're
and also a giant wave crashed. Yeah.
It's the Harry T. Byrne. You remember that letter from his mom where it's you should vote for women's suffrage. Also, the neighbor's cow died, and just random stuff thrown in there. It's by the way, women should vote.
Yeah. Love your mama. And then he was like, you're right. You're right, mama. I was telling someone about Harry T. Byrne the other day. I was like, I grew up near the county where women earn the right to vote because of this one boy who loved his mama.
A mother's love.
Mm-hmm. So in 1656, she was able to finally successfully negotiate a peace treaty between Matamba and Portugal. Part of the treaty was that Portugal would recognize Njinga as a sovereign ruler of Matamba.
Okay.
And Njinga had to rededicate and reconvert to Catholicism, because I guess in the 30 years of fighting the Portuguese, she was like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then Angola Ahari, who had taken over the throne after Njinga left Ndongo, died. And so they're like, you can be ruler of Ndongo again. So now she's ruler of Matamba and Ndongo.
What?
She's queen of 2 kingdoms.
Nice.
Yeah. And on her end, besides converting to Catholicism, she agreed to assist Portugal with military power, because now she has 2 kingdoms. She allowed them to continue slave trading and, again, recommitted to the Catholic Church, and pledged that all children born under her rule from that point on would be baptized. Which the Catholics were like, this fucking rules.
Yeah.
Apparently, Pope Alexander VII was thought very highly of her, and they wrote letters back and forth.
Oh.
Because he was like, you're great for Catholicism because you're making sure all babies are born baptized.
I mean, they made it work, right?
Yeah, right. So, in 1663, Njinga died at the age of 80 or 81 years old.
Damn, that's
which is
old.
Crazy. The fact that she, led so many battles and, survived, multiple coups. Also, and, attempts, the Portuguese, trying to find her.
Just the years.
And just living in the 1600s.
Surviving the 1600s.
I mean,
in such a violent time, healthcare was non-existent.
Yeah.
Insane.
You can, look at the sun wrong and then just, die 2 days later.
They didn't know germs existed.
Stubbed your toe, now your foot's falling off, like,
Yeah.
because of
It's fine.
bacteria, because of your broken toenail. Isn't that how Jack Daniels died? He had, like, broke his toe and then he died of sepsis.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Yeah, he kicked something, broke a toe or a foot or something, and then died.
Hold on, stand by.
Okay.
He died of gangrene from a broken toe after kicking a safe in anger at the distillery because he couldn't remember the combination.
And then he died. Tragic.
Oh, they have a picture of the safe.
It's probably still at the distillery.
I wouldn't want to move it.
No, I think it is at the distillery. I think, because I did a tour of the distillery a few years ago, and, like, there's, like, a house that you could tour, and I think they're like, that's the safe that Jack Daniels kicked.
They labeled it, literally, they labeled it the safe that killed Jack.
I think it's in, like, one of the museum pieces you can tour.
I could die like that because I have a bathtub tray. This is such a side note, guys. I'm so sorry, but I have a bathtub tray, and I was having a shit day, and I went to go put laundry in the laundry basket. I smacked the bathtub tray with my arm. It came up, smacked me in the side of the head. I was already mad, and I smacked it away from me, and it, like, fell in the bathtub, broke in a bunch of pieces, and I was like, gosh, like, I was
Oh, no.
and it happened so fast. It was like, bam! I didn't know what hit me. I smacked it back.
Just reflexes. You're fight
I
or flight.
literally, like, in a huff, because it's wooden. I went downstairs and, like, got wood glue and clamps and was, like, angrily fixing it. I could die from Yeah, I would have got out like Jack Daniels.
Well,
in that
thankfully
time.
we have antibiotics now.
Yeah,
so.
thank God.
Anyway, so Njinga died. Back on track.
Yeah.
And her sister Kambu became queen. 'Cause
Okay.
I guess she just had sisters left because her brother killed, like, anyone else who could claim, any other male who could claim the throne. So Kambu became queen, but very quickly after, I don't even know if it was a full year, like, Matamba was, like, already trying to overthrow Kambu.
Oh.
And was just like, and so when she died, like, this huge civil war broke out among the people over who had the right to rule. Was it, like, the people who had lived there the whole time, or, like, all these European powers who were trying to come in and colonize everything? But Njinga is still remembered to this day by the descendants of enslaved people being shipped off to the New World, especially in Brazil. Like, Brazil has, like, in one of their holidays, they celebrate Njinga. They build, like, a big, like...
Oh, cool.
I guess, like, an effigy. I don't know how else to say it. I don't think they burn it. But they, like, and then they nominate, like a king and a queen, and the queen is, like represents Njinga. They continue to tell stories of her. Like, I think to this day, they continue to tell oral stories of Njinga. I mean, this happened hundreds of years ago. She is considered, quote, the mother of the nation of Angola.
Wow.
Especially during the Angolan independence movement of the 1960s and 70s, when a lot of decolonization was going on in Africa.
Yeah.
And her guerrilla tactics would go on to inspire fighters in the 60s and 70s that led to the Angolan independence from Portugal in 1975.
Wow. Wait. Till 1975?
Mm-hmm.
What? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I just got chills all over my body. Can we leave other countries alone?
Seriously.
Wow.
In 2013, that was the 350th anniversary of her death. Angola put up a statue of her. And I think there is a Netflix show about her.
Oh, cool.
Let me look it up really quick. Because I saw it in, like, my research. Because I was, like, trying to... There's a couple books, but one of the books I saw was, like, $30. I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
$30 for a digital book is a lot. Okay, so there's a documentary on YouTube called African Queens. And I guess she has an episode in that series.
Okay. I did find this from the blackfilmandtv.com. It says stars to develop Queen Njinga series starring and executive produced by I can't say these names. 50 Cent's in it.
Oh, cool.
Moa Budu, Yatid Badaki. I don't know these people. I'm very bad about knowing people in movies. So, but apparently that was December 16th. So I guess one's coming.
Oh, cool. That'd be really cool to have a movie, like a super cool movie about her.
Yeah. Yeah. We should watch it when it comes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's Queen Njinga of Ndongo and Matamba. And I'm sorry about everything I mispronounced. I'm not African in any kind of way, including from Angola. So
we did our best.
Did our best. I looked up pronunciations.
It's the best we can do. Yeah, this is great. I had no idea this person existed, so thank you.
I didn't either. I was just Googling, like, I think I just was, like, really feeling like an African queen moment, and I was like, who are some cool... There's a few I saw, and then, like, she, like, stood out through the universe. I said, okay, I'm covering your story.
I love that. I love that feeling where you're like, no, you.
Yes.
You feel right. And that's how we ended up with, like, Bonnie and Clyde last week.
Yeah.
Is because I was like, oh, you feel right. Oh, look, the dates match. Trust your gut, guys. Trust your gut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Socials?
I love...
Oh, sorry.
Yes. I was just going to say, I love what she's got going on in this painting of her, this rendition.
I know.
I'm sure there's a reason she has a boob out. I'm sure there's a symbolic reason, but she definitely does have a tit out.
She does.
And you know what? Good for her.
See, I think this painting is very interesting because this painting was done like 200 years later. It was painted in like either the 17 or 1800s. And it just reminds me so much of like classic European art. Like the way that like the women all have like these cupid bow lips and like it's very soft and romantic. Like it's almost like Renaissance art. But it's way after the Renaissance.
It does look very Renaissance-y, and the crown looks very European, right?
I think so. It may not be. I don't know anything about...
I don't either.
1500s Angolan culture. That could be... I don't know. I mean, they didn't have photos back then, so I just assume when I see this that it's just an artist rendition based on the information they had. But you can see here it says Njinga, Queen of Matamba.
Ah. Wow.
Yeah, I like a whole boob out.
Just a whole boob. And you know what?
These are the two pictures. If you Google her, these are the two things that show up because that's all there is.
It's not a lot. She looks just her demeanor. They did a good job with her looking powerful.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, just I'm digging it. I'm sure there's a symbolic reason, and it's always interesting.
I think like several African cultures, like they don't have like the with top nudity, like they don't sexualize breasts like other cultures do. So it's like men don't wear shirts. Why should women wear shirts? Kind of thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I'm cool. Yeah. I feel like we should sexualize them less because I don't want to wear a bra. I don't. Let them free. Anyway, socials?
Socials.
Okay. You can find us on Facebook.
Ill-Equipped History Podcast Group and Page.
Instagram.
At Ill-Equipped History.
Gmail.
Ill-equippedhistory@gmail.com. I almost just said at Gmail.
At Gmail. TikTok.
At Ill-Equipped History.
I promise we will put something on there soon. Summer is here now. So just bear with us.
We're gonna have our productive girl summer.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
We're gonna girl boss on this podcast so hard. And then Patreon.
Patreon.com/illequippedhistory.
Yeah, guys, it's been a rough end of the school year. So, for both of us, for very different reasons. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a weight is lifted now. So we can, when this comes out, oh my God, this comes out on my birthday.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday. I said it before we started recording this episode. It was on your birthday. And then I forgot to wish Emily a happy birthday today. Thanks. Bad friend.
No, not bad friend. Not bad friend at all. It's still technically, upon recording, not my birthday. So thanks.
It's true. And when this comes out, we will be together.
And we have plans to go out.
Yes.
For a trivia night because 32 is riveting.
Oh, I love trivia. I'm good at trivia.
Yeah. It was either like Singo or trivia because they flip-flop it on Thursdays. And we're landing on a trivia night. And I told Lou, I was like, look, we have 2 history buffs there. And they probably won't ask a single question that we actually know the answer to. But like, we might get one.
Yeah.
We're going to get it.
We might have another butane.
Yeah.
Answer. I will ride that high forever.
You should. I definitely did a trivia night with my job. We had like a realtor fun night, and my group got second place.
Oh, nice.
I want it to be known that they basically played Singo at one of the sections, mm-hmm. and one of the songs was Mr. Brightside, and I was like, oh my God, I know it. Oh, I know. The other 3 were like older than me, and they're like, we don't know this. And I'm like, it's the Killers. Like,
the ultimate white person song.
But I was like whispering it because I didn't want the other teams to hear. I was like, it's the Killers.
It's just the price I pay. Destiny is calling me. Oh, jam out. I still have, this is so off tangent. I was this is so long ago. I think it was almost 10 years ago, which makes me just age like the Benjamin Button meme. Or the Saving Private Ryan meme. But like the bar we were in, me and one of my friends started playing Mr. Brightside, mm-hmm. and everyone in this bar was just like singing it. I went up to like this random girl, and then like 5 other, like I started recording it like on Snapchat, like me singing with my friend, and then like 10 people like gather around us. We're all like singing into my camera, like blah, blah.
That happened with me at Alan Gold, but it was Sweet Caroline, and we were all like, Sweet Caroline. Ba, 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 ba.
Who says white people don't have culture?
Yeah. We have very vanilla culture, but it's culture.
It's still there.
I will say, every time I think of like, the white culture, I think of like people making fun of how, stereotypical white people don't season their food kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That I'm not going to dox who, but I was talking to a friend, and she was like, yeah, and my mother-in-law was like, we'll just make some vegetables. I just put some salt on them, and they're so good. And it's like, just salt?
Just salt? I mean, I'm glad she at least put salt, but like just salt?
Just salt, and you just put it in the oven, and then...
That's it.
Ta-da! Honey, get some pepper. Get some
garlic powder.
Get some onion powder. Get some something.
Get some chili. Some chili powder. Some cumin.
Yes. I like to use, there's a seasoning called Special Shit. Literally, that's the name of it. Special Shit. It's really good. And there's a lot of others I use, guys. I'm a heavy seasoner, okay? Yes. A heavy seasoner.
She's a good cook.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I'm always scared people are not going to like my cooking.
I'm still thinking about how I just angrily stomped around your house because your cinnamon rolls were so good. I physically couldn't handle it.
When my son, for Mother's Day, they have like the Mother's Day thing. We will let you go in a minute, I promise.
Yeah.
But they had the Mother's Day like tea party, and in that you get all these like handwritten things, and it's all very cute. He mentioned cinnamon rolls 4 separate times in 4 different ways. Like, I love my mom because she makes cinnamon rolls, and then like, I think my mom's great when she makes cinnamon rolls. And then she recorded it. Like, the teacher asked every individual child why they love their mom, and then was in the video like, I love my mom because she makes really good cinnamon rolls. And I was like, dude, is that a hint? And he was like, yeah. So now I have to make this boy some cinnamon rolls.
So he loves you.
So he will love me again.
I mean, they're really good cinnamon rolls.
Really are. I'm not gonna lie, they're pretty darn good.
Anyway,
Yeah.
if you get the chance, try Emily's cinnamon rolls. They're delicious.
Come to my house. Don't come to my house, please. I love you.
Give her 48 hours notice. Yes. We're gonna come to her house.
The cinnamon rolls take a long time, so give me a heads up.
Don't tell her 2 hours in advance.
Yeah, right.
I can cut that if you want me to.
No, it's okay. Guys, I had an incident where I had to hurry up so fast. I had to go buy a new outfit and makeup and get to somewhere. I only had like a 2-hour notice. I was in Chattanooga. I was like 30, 40 minutes away from home. I still had shit to do, and I somehow made it. I was only 5 minutes late. And I showed up not looking like a hobo. I was very proud.
She's a multi-talented gal, y'all.
I ran into Target, bought foundation, mascara, and a dress. I also tried on that dress within 10 minutes.
So impressive.
Just showed up.
You're like running like a triathlon in Target.
I'm on the phone too. I'm like, Lou, what do I do? And she's like, this. How does it look? Is it okay? I'm like a cheerleader the whole time.
It's like a game show. Was it like supermarket frenzy or something like that? Where like you have to like it's like that, but like in Target for your job.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, it worked out and I got lunch. So
yeah.
It was fine.
Everything's fine.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.